All right, welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today, exploring, how we live our lives.
Yeah.
Looking at these excerpts from Rhythms of Grace. It's by Jeremiah Adegbola. Have you heard of it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Big fan of his work.
Yeah, me too. It's really gets you thinking, about this whole idea of God's assignment versus like finding our big purpose.
Right. And I think that's a distinction that a lot of people maybe haven't really considered before. It's a big one.
It is. It's huge because, we always hear about finding your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this big, overwhelming thing.
It can be, yeah. And I think that's where, this idea of God's assignment comes in. It's like instead of trying to figure out this massive, overarching purpose for your whole life, maybe it's about focusing on like the task at hand.
You
It's
got it.
right in front of you.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. One of the things he says is, don't be so bothered about your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Just know and fulfill God's assignment unto you per time. You will ultimately fulfill purpose.
Powerful stuff.
So powerful.
Mhm.
And for me, I don't know about you, but I get so bogged down by that, what am I meant to do with my whole life question.
Oh, I think we all do at some point, right? It's this existential question that just kind of hangs over us.
Totally. So to think about it instead is like, what's the assignment
Yeah,
today?
right now. What's the next right thing that you can do
Yeah.
that you feel called to do?
It feels so much more manageable.
Absolutely. It takes the pressure off, right?
So much pressure.
Instead of, this grand vision, it's about, okay, what's the next faithful step I can take?
It's like that saying, the longest journey starts with a single step.
Exactly.
So if we're just focused on those individual steps, those assignments,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel so daunting.
Right. It becomes less about mapping out your entire journey and more about just, okay, what's the next thing?
And I think there's something about that makes me think about trusting in a larger plan.
Oh, absolutely.
If we believe that there is some kind of divine design,
Hmm.
that we're part of something bigger than ourselves,
Yeah.
maybe those seemingly small assignments
Right.
are actually the building blocks of something truly significant.
They're all part of this grand tapestry that's being woven, and we might not see the full picture right now,
Right.
but we can trust that each thread, each step that we take is contributing to something beautiful.
That is beautiful. I love that. And it makes me wonder, what could we accomplish
Hmm.
if we weren't so preoccupied with that big picture
Right.
and we're just focused on doing the next right thing?
That's the key, isn't it? Doing the next right thing. But how do we even know what that is?
That's the question, right?
Yeah,
Like, how do we discern?
discernment. Yeah. And Adegbola doesn't really dive deep into specifics about like, okay, here's how you tell the difference between, your own desires
Right.
and a divinely inspired, assignment. But it's almost like he's encouraging us to develop that sensitivity,
Mm-hmm.
that ability to listen
Yeah.
and respond to what we're feeling called to do.
Well, and it makes me think about another thing he says,
Mm-hmm.
where he's talking about, don't live your life on the dreams of others, but solely on the visions of God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I feel like so many of us, especially if we're raised, in close families,
Well,
in
I
close
see.
communities, we feel that weight of other people's expectations.
All the time. It's like this pressure to live up to what other people have envisioned for us.
Totally. And he says something really powerful about that, where he says, only those who lived on the dreams of others grow old, wanting others to live their dreams.
Wow.
So it's like perpetuating that cycle.
It is. It's like, if you spend your life trying to fulfill someone else's dreams,
Yeah.
then you're going to end up wanting other people to fulfill yours.
You're going to put that on other people.
Exactly.
I know for me, there was always this like unspoken expectation
Mm-hmm.
that I would follow a certain career path,
Hmm.
the one that would make my family proud.
Right.
It took a lot of courage to step away from that,
Sure.
to pursue something that felt more, I don't know, like aligned with my own inner compass.
Yeah, to follow your own heart.
Yeah.
And that can be so difficult, especially when it might disappoint people that you love.
So difficult. And that's where it gets tricky, right? It's like, how do you
Mm-hmm.
honor the people that you love
Right.
while staying true to your own convictions?
It's a delicate balance, and sometimes those paths converge,
Yeah.
but sometimes they diverge. And when they do, that's when things can get really, really tough.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm.
And I think that's where Adegbola's advice on respectful disagreement comes in.
Mm.
He reminds us that even when we feel strongly about something,
Mm-hmm.
even when we believe it's a revelation from God,
Yeah.
we can still disagree with others without being disrespectful.
Without tearing them down or dismissing their perspective.
Yeah, it's so nuanced. It's like he says, no one born of a woman is a valid reason to let go of what God has revealed to you,
Mm.
so you can please them.
Wow.
But then he goes on to say, disagreeing is not always a mark of disrespect or dishonor.
Right.
You can respectfully disagree without having to dishonor or bring to disrepute.
It's like he's acknowledging that we can hold strong to our beliefs,
Yeah,
but still extend grace to those who see things differently.
right. It doesn't have to be, us versus them.
Exactly.
I think the key is remembering that disagreement doesn't have to be a battle.
Mm-hmm.
It can be an opportunity for understanding,
Hmm.
for growth.
Yeah.
It's about finding that space where we can respectfully articulate our own perspective
Yeah.
without trying to force it on others.
And being open to hearing their perspective as well.
Yes,
Really listening to understand, even if we don't agree.
absolutely. And I think that requires a willingness to listen, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
to truly hear where the other person is coming from,
Yeah.
even if we don't agree with them.
To seek that common ground.
Yeah.
To find that place of mutual respect, even amidst, differing viewpoints.
So to kind of bring it all together,
Yep.
in our deep dive today,
Yeah.
we've been exploring some really powerful ideas,
Absolutely.
focusing on God's assignments.
Yeah.
Instead of being paralyzed by that search for the one big purpose,
Right.
honoring our own visions,
Mm.
even when they differ from what other people expect of us,
Yeah.
and the art of disagreeing respectfully,
So important.
all kind of woven together with this thread
Yeah.
of trust in something bigger than ourselves.
Trusting that there's a plan, that we're not alone in this journey.
Exactly. So on that note, I'll leave you with this final thought.
Hmm.
If we see each day as filled with these potential assignments,
Yeah.
these opportunities to act, to listen,
To connect.
to connect,
Mm-hmm.
how might that change our approach to life,
Mm.
to our relationships, to our very sense of purpose?
It's a beautiful question.
It's a lot to ponder,
It is.
but I hope you will.
I know I will. Thanks for bringing this up.
Thank you.
This has been a really insightful conversation.
Yeah, it has. Until next time.
Until next time.